7 o'clock.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. This is the City of Dania Beach regular meeting on June the 23rd, 2026. It is 7 o'clock p.m. and I call this meeting to order. City Clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Mayor Davis.
Here.
Vice Mayor Salvino.
Here.
Commissioner Llewellyn. Here. Commissioner Romoli.
Here.
Commissioner Ryan.
Here.
City Attorney Bootsas. Here. City Manager Sosa Cruz.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much, City Clerk. And if we can all get settled now, it is time for our moment of silence. Please bow your heads for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Eve, if you could please read the statement of decorum.
Yes, Mayor. Individuals who wish to make any citizen comments under that portion of the agenda or who otherwise want to address the City Commission must first be registered with the City Clerk. The forms are available outside of the chambers and must be given to the clerk before the meeting. Others who want to address the Commission on any matters must first be recognized by the Mayor. All such persons must use the podium at the chamber. No more than one person at any time may address the Commission from the podium. Comments are only to be made to the City Commission as a whole and are not to be directed to the audience or City staff. No individual shall make any slanderous or unduly repetitive remarks or engage in any other form of behavior that disrupts or impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting as determined by the Mayor. The Mayor often allows applause during ceremonial or celebratory portions of the meeting, such as proclamations, presentations, awards, or public safety recognitions, as these are not action items and are intended to honor individuals or events. However, to safeguard an orderly meeting and to preclude intimidation of speakers on agenda items or designated public comments, the Mayor ordinarily precludes clapping, applauding, heckling, or verbal outbursts during those portions of the meeting. As a whole, no clapping, applauding, heckling, or verbal outbursts in support of or opposition to a speaker or his or her remarks shall be permitted. No signs or placards shall be permitted in the chamber. If any person's conduct, as determined by the Mayor, is found to be disruptive or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, the person may be asked by the Mayor to leave the Commission chambers. If the person does not leave and the conduct persists, the City Police Department will be requested to escort the individual from the chambers. Please silence all telephones, and all persons exiting the Commission chamber shall do so quietly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, City Attorney. Next, we have item 3, the presentations and special event approvals. Item 3.1, request for proclamation approval. First up, we have the St. Ruth Missionary Baptist Church 118th anniversary on August 16, 2026, sponsored by Commissioner Llewellyn. And we have the Memorial Healthcare System Partnership Appreciation Day, November 7th, 2026, sponsored by Mayor Davis. Do we have consensus for those events and approvals? Thank you so much, Commission. We have unanimous consensus for that. Item 3.2, we have the Area Agency on Aging of Broward County, sponsored by Commissioner Romoli. Commissioner Romoli, hold on. Ralph told me to press the green button and I didn't. Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. Tonight, we have Charlotte Mader-Taylor she's the Chief Executive Officer for the Area Agency of Aging in Broward County. And with her is Vivian, I'm going to probably correct your last name here, but Piershe. She's the Director of Community Affairs. And I met with them, I think it was last week, and I was just so impressed by all the things that this organization does, not only for the city of Dania Beach, but also Broward County. The one thing that really struck me which I was not aware of at all, is the amount of money and resources you provided for the city of Dania Beach. And I want to think or say that it was around $240,000 approximately, which is an incredible amount of money considering what we actually invested as a city to sponsor this organization last year. I just would like everyone, with your presentation, to be able to see for themselves what you actually do and how your services provide a tremendous resource to all of our citizens here in Dania Beach. So please, Charlotte, it's up to you. Yeah, come on up.
I didn't realize I was first, sorry.
Yes.
I apologize. I'm going to be very careful because I was flying and I came down with a bit of a cold, so maybe we could wipe this after I use this. So hi, I'm very honored to be here with you today. Thank you so much, Commissioner, for inviting us. It's truly an opportunity for us to share our services. One of our themes is know us before you need us, and what I have found since I've been at the agency, oftentimes when people reach out, it's when they're already in crisis, and we want people to know who we are so that they can prepare and reach out to us before they really need us. You have our mission. Hold on one second, sorry. Okay. So our mission is in addition to the services we provide, we also plan and develop an area plan. That area plan goes up to the state and then goes up to the federal government. It's part of the plan for this area as far as what is priorities for senior services. We serve residents 60 and above, and then we also have our Medicaid screening process and program, which is for individuals with disabilities as well. And one of our programs is actually 55 and above. That's our grandparent program. Our organizational purpose is we exist to improve the quality of life of seniors. The whole purpose is to support people to stay in the community, in their homes, and avoid early institutionalization, to give them all the supports they need so that they can thrive in the community. We do this, we provide many direct services, but we also have an RFP process, and we contract with over 40 different providers with 55 different services. So it's a collaboration as well. Collaboration is extremely important, and I feel like the more working together, the better for our seniors. We've been here since 1974, and actually many people don't know that area agencies on aging were created in federal statute many years ago. The idea was that the Federal Older Americans Act funding would be brought down to the local community so that the local community could decide the services they want. They're actually located all throughout the U.S., and in Florida there's 11. We're the only one who's actually only one county because we have such a large number of seniors in Broward County. Up in North Florida, they often have many different counties. And then within our agency, which gets to be confusing for people, when I first got here, I was like, we have too many different names. Area Agency on Aging in Broward County, ADRC, and Aging and Disability Resource Center. But it is what it is. People have their comfort level, what they call us. The Aging and Disability Resource Center is actually our helpline where people call in for information and referral, and also where people go to sign up to get screened for Medicaid long-term care services. And those are the folks that I find often they'll come to us when they're in crises. Their wife or their husband, grandmother, grandfather has suddenly gotten worse in condition, and suddenly they're like, oh my God, we need help. So that's why we have Know Us Before You Need Us. And here I have the helpline. The helpline number is 954-745-9779. If this is televised and you have constituents watching, please remember that number because that's the number where people can call. And we also have our website, which is www.adrcbroward.org. One of the things I did when I got to the agency is I noticed that some people call in, they're overwhelmed and they need more help. So there we have Vivian. Vivian actually runs our Caregiver Navigator program, and they actually will work with people one-on-one and also individuals who aren't caregivers who actually need that extra help. And that to me is a very important, it's like a concierge service. So someone calls the helpline or you find someone yourselves that you see is really in need, but they don't know how to navigate. Maybe English is not their first language. Maybe they just are so overwhelmed. Vivian and her team will help them. They actually have different programs. They can support them with a program called T-Care, which will do an assessment. We have an online community that caregivers can go on 24/7. We have something called Educate, where they'll work with individuals to show their loved one what it's like to actually have dementia and so on, and they go through that whole process. And then we work with our network of providers, which has support groups, different kinds of respite programs, in-facility and in-home respite, and a lot of other different programs. So that, to me, is a very important part of what we do, and Vivian does an excellent job with that. So I already mentioned the helpline. I mentioned the Medicaid long-term care screening. We also provide meals, food assistance. We have congregate meals, and we have in-home services. We actually have two different programs. One is for people who are homebound, and the other is based on your economic level. So you could be really any income level if you're homebound and you have difficulty getting around, or if you have a federal poverty level issue and you can get around, but you really are just needing resources, we have a program for you. What I love about our program is we have a lot of different choices. We have kosher meals, we have halal meals, we have gluten-free meals, we have Italian, we have a lot of different meals because we want people to have choice. Because as you get older, one of the things people really enjoy is food. And, you know, before when I got there, we had one meal, everyone got the same meal, and I just wanted people to have choice. So I'm very proud of the fact that we provide people choice. We also offer the EHIP program, which is energy assistance, and we have two organizations we work with for minor home repairs. I think that is a really important program. I have found, they're all important, but what I found working on that program is that someone their health may get a little worse, and suddenly they can't get out the front door because of a wheelchair, because they don't have a ramp. So all those little kinds of things, it's minor home repairs, but it's things that are really critical for people. Putting in a ramp, putting in grab bars, putting in a raised toilet seat, enhanced lighting, and all of those things prevent trips and falls, which we all know for older adults, falls are really not good. So that's something I feel like is also an excellent program. We also have an elder abuse prevention program. We have someone who goes out, they'll teach classes, because people need to be aware if things change, their neighbor suddenly isn't coming out, someone moved in the house and something's happening. If people are aware of what can happen, it's really important, then they can report it. Unfortunately, since I've been at the agency, there's too many cases of that where older people are very vulnerable. In addition to that, we have people who teach about scams. We're a pilot site for the Department of Elder Affairs on a scam texting program right now. So getting that education out and protecting people is really important. And I don't know about you, but I get those scam texts all the time on my phone. And sometimes I look like, oh, should I answer it? But I don't. But someone may not know, particularly if they have little dementia or, you know, they're not thinking about it. We also have health and wellness classes, a variety of different ones. We have 3 up there. We can come out to the city. We'll do them at libraries. We'll go out to a church, a temple. We want to get out in the community, and we offer them to people. They're evidence-based, which means they're proven medically to work, so they're really helpful. We also, in addition to that, it's not on there, have something called a mental health checkup, where people who become isolated will help them build social networks. We got that from an NCOA grant, and that actually is something I also think is really helpful. We have a very robust Medicare Shine program. I used that for my mom when she was alive, because even though I worked at Broward Health, I was a hospital executive, I had no idea what Medicare plan to sign her up for. It was just overwhelming. These folks will give you unbiased help and help you sign up for the right program. They can come out and talk to employees, they can come out and talk to community folks, and it's actually better to have them come out to people who are about to turn 65 so they're prepared, but they will come out, and I think that's also a great program. They do one-on-one counseling, presentations, over the phone, in person, etc. And I mentioned we have our senior and daycare centers located throughout the community. We have transportation services provided at the centers, legal assistance. We contract with Coast to Coast Legal Aid to help. I know the county did that in some of the cities as well. They do an excellent job, so we're very pleased with what they do. We have a veteran-directed care program where we work with people. The VA refers them to us, and they get a stipend, about $3,500 a month, to help them hire their own folks. And then we have a bunch of Alzheimer's programs, which I mentioned to you, case managed, specialized medical equipment. We also have a whole room of durable medical equipment, and diapers and so on. That's actually separate from our federal funds that we get, that we provide to the community. And I mentioned the Healthcare Navigator services and what Vivian does a few moments ago. The caregiver texting service, we started that where people can text and ask questions 24/7. We also send out announcements to them. We have a Connecting with You program, which is daily reassurance, daily calls, a grandparent support program, and in-home services, you see the list. Homemaking, respite care, case management, just a variety of different services. And then we also have all these different technology options. We started investing in them during COVID when we couldn't get to our folks and they couldn't, come into the senior centers. These have been really helpful. They're really divided up between fall alert programs and socialization programs. So for example, Buddy Appearance and Tranquility are fall alert programs, and so is the Emergency Alert Response System, EARS. And then the Claris Companion is a tablet that you can use for all types of cognitive programs. You can keep in touch with your loved ones. It's a bigger tablet, so it supports some of the things that occur with aging, like glaucoma, dexterity issues. And then the LAQ robot is pretty cool. It actually is a robot that's AI, and it's actually proactive. It's been very, very popular. The most I've heard is someone gave it back to us because she said she talked too much, but otherwise people love her, and she's really made a difference in people's lives. And then we do give out Ring video doorbells. I'm a part of a national program with that. I've actually been teaching other AAAs in the state because I think it's really important having that security. And caregivers can also use it because they can loop into the Ring video and check on their loved ones. And then we have Uniper Care, which is actually hooks to your television set. And that's really cool because you can actually talk to your loved ones through the TV. It's very popular with people who are homebound because they can do exercise classes with people who are in other homes and they can actually connect with them. So that's it. I tried to go through it as quickly as possible because I know it's a lot of information. And I have my information up there too. If any of you need, you can reach out to me. I mentioned the helpline and number for your constituents, 745-9779, and our website. It's also good to sign up for the emails. We don't send out too many newsletters. We send them out once a month, so it doesn't get overwhelming, but it gives you a lot of good information. And then in your brochures, you have the number of clients we served. We served 158 plus 530 on the helpline. Total funding and services was $248,000, and we have it spelled out for you. 31 clients in home delivered meals, 16 in congregate, 32 got hurricane disaster meals. We have monthly meal boxes, and you can see the rest of it as well. So this way you know exactly where everything goes. I did want to mention one other thing that was not on there that I'm very proud of is we have our LIFT program. And that's been a very powerful program. Actually, the County TOPS program has been referring people to us who had really difficulty navigating. And I was so blessed that we actually got a renewal on that grant just yesterday. So we're good for 2 more years. So that has been extremely popular. People use it for medical appointments because they say a lot of the plans aren't covering them at all. They're capitated where boom, they don't get any more appointments out of it. And then they'll go to like church, temple services. They'll go to different types of socialization activities. So that's also a wonderful program. You mentioned it, Commissioner, but we do use the dollars you gave us towards 2 grants. One of them is the Community Care for the Elderly, which is a state grant, and the Older Americans Act, which is a federal grant. They both require a 10% match. So that's what we use any dollars that were donated to us. So, and then of course we have a lot of other services, and I'm always looking to see what I can do because the need is great. As you guys know, Broward County has gotten really expensive and it's getting harder, especially if you're on a fixed income. So we're always looking for ways to support people. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Wow, that's amazing. Did you hold on one second? Commissioner Romoli?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And again, Charlotte, thank you so much for coming here and kind of breaking it down quickly, I know, but this is so important for our seniors, not only at Dania Beach, but all of Broward County.
Yes.
And I encourage anybody who knows a senior to please reach out to your organization, get a consultation, find out what it is that they could use or need help with. So many people always think that there's not help out there.
Yep. Yes.
But there is, and your organization is a good example of what can be done for individuals out there that do need the help, and I thank you so much for all that you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And I want to thank you as well because as our parents are aging, our community is aging. I love to see the new technologies that are available. It's very exciting to see that, and the respite care. There's so much in this presentation and so many services. I would love to see it broken down, in different ways so that people can really see all the things that you presented. But it's so important, as Commissioner Ramoli said, for our seniors and all of Broward County. So thank you so much. And I did receive something, so I'm going to look into it and contact you guys back with somebody had sent me. So thank you again. Thank you, Commissioner Ramoli, because our seniors are our vulnerable population, and we really want to make sure they're well taken care of. So appreciate your presentation. Thank you.
You don't mind, I don't want to look obsessive, but I really don't want to get my cold. I'm just going to put some hand sanitizer. I have this thing. I don't want to be that person who, like, they say, oh, there she was there. Hold on. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, no, okay. I hate it when someone comes up and gives you a big hug and they're like coughing all over you.
Me too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you again.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Great presentation there. And so next we have a special event application from Parks and Recreation regarding the World Cup viewing party at Cyber Pizza Latin Grill. Are we seeking a presentation on that, Frankie?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, City Manager, City Attorney, City Clerk, and residents. No presentation on this. We're just asking for a retroactive approval. This was a viewing party for World Cup games. They were just expanding seating outside of their parking lot. So I went through all our approval process, and it's just a retroactive approval.
Okay. We have consensus for retro approval on that? Yep. Unanimous consensus. Thank
Perfect.
you, Frankie.
Thank you.
But I want some pre-approval. I want to know when the next watch party is for
Yes,
us.
this one was last minute, unfortunately, just because, the World Cup snuck up on everybody.
Yeah.
We ran it through city management. We ran it through our city team, and it was an expedited fee that they paid. So,
No, I'm just saying I would love to go to a good watch party. I don't know if Dania Point or
Gotcha.
somebody else is doing that, but, it's good that we're participating, our cities and our businesses are participating in the World Cup activities.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And next, we have our administrative reports, beginning with our very own city manager, Sosa Cruz.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, residents, and City team. Candido Sosa Cruz, City Manager. I want to first start off with thanking you, Mayor, and our Deputy City Manager for attending the Broward County Commission special meeting on Tuesday, June 16th, which was regarding the potential bid for the acquisition of the Spirit Airline properties located at Dania Point. Thankfully, this item was ultimately withdrawn, but a big part of that was through the presence of our Mayor and Deputy City Manager at Broward County. Currently, again, Broward County would not be pursuing the Spirit Airlines buildings in Dania Point. The bid will be taking place later this week, and the final, we'll find out who the final is in July. So I'll be providing an update in July regarding the Spirit Airline building bankruptcy process. Since June is Code Enforcement Appreciation Month, I want to highlight some efforts from the Code Compliance Division. During this reporting period, the Code Compliance Division has received 85 complaints through the city's Ask Dania Beach app. And our Code Compliance Officer promptly responded by inspecting each reported location and issuing citations where necessary. So the city's Ask Dania Beach app is working as intended. Residents, business owners, visitors are able to report anything they see from code violation, potholes, crooked stop signs, anything at the beach, litter, illegal bulk trash. So it's working, and we're responding 7 days a week to the app. Also under the Code Compliance Division, they're working collaboratively with the Public Services Department to address bulk and nuisance-related issues citywide. This month, we've issued 29 bulk trash notices where individuals have put bulk trash illegally on the wrong day or week of the month. So that is something that the Code Compliance Division is monitoring, and if it's a habitual occurrence, they are citing the property owner. Under Parks and Recreation, I have several project updates. The Chester Bird Park project design continues to progress, and is approaching the 75% design milestone. The project remains on schedule to meet the April 30th, 2027 grant deadline. In regards to PJ Milley Park, the project has been placed on hold pending identification of additional funding opportunities. We've been letting everyone know that the design came back with a construction of $30 million. And due to everything that's happening right now, we've put that on hold, including the design until we're able to see what happens after November and see what other funding opportunities comes our way. And in regard to Olson Middle School project, construction activities remain on hold due to the uncertainty surrounding the school board and the unknown future of Olson Middle School. Kind of the same scenario right now. We don't know what's going to happen to Olson Middle School and what's going to happen with Broward County Schools as far as are they going to be selling it? Are they going to be closing it? That continues to be a headline from Broward Schools, selling off closed schools. I'm sure you've seen it on the Sun Sentinel. So we're watching what's happening right now. Under the Parks Division, the Ocean Rescue successfully launched its highly anticipated Junior Lifeguard Summer Camp on June 8th. Through 3 camp sessions, more than 60 children will receive hands-on education focused on ocean safety, water awareness, and life-saving skills. Also in the Parks and Recreation Department is excited to report significant growth in the Dania Beach Dolphins Youth Tackle Football program following the opening of the new field at C.W. Thomas Park. This season, the Dolphins are expected to field at least 5 teams across the 6U, 8U, 10U, 12U, and 14U divisions, with 78 paid participants currently registered. Prior to the opening of the new field, the program consisted of only 2 teams in 2 divisions. This growth reflects the positive impact the city's investment in recreation facilities is having on youth sports and community engagement. As everyone knows, we started the budget season. The fiscal year 26-27 budget preparation process is underway. Initial one-on-one meetings with the mayor, vice mayor, and commissioners have been completed. A second round of meetings will take place prior to the release of the city manager's recommended budget to the commission and the public on July 7th. And last and definitely not least, I want to congratulate our new Community Development Director, Corinne LaJoy. So now next we're going to be putting out an announcement for the Deputy Director position of Community Development. That concludes my manager's report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Excellent report, City Manager. I just have a quick question about the Ask Dania Beach app, because we used to have a form where residents could go in and, just upload the pictures, and it's not that same form anymore. Is it only through Ask Dania Beach? Is there any way possible? Because people used to actually use that form, and I think it might be a good secondary or something, but they really used to use that code form to upload the pictures.
With the update of the website, the app is the actual forum to upload photos, and that is the only form we have right now. They could email it to us as well. They could call us. So there are different avenues, not just if they don't want to use an app, they could email us, either us, the city manager's office, code compliance, or they could call us.
Okay, because I always try to have them document first. Okay, thank you so much, City Manager. I appreciate that. Next, we have item 5.2, which is the city attorney report, and that we will be talking about the Forest View Estates. So if you are here and want to talk about the Forest View Estates, then we're going to let the city attorney give her report first, and then anybody who wants to speak on that item for or against, you may do so after the city attorney's report. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Clerk, and everyone in the audience. So In 2003, I should say, there was a site plan approval for 6.5 acres with a master site plan to build 31 homes, and that is for the Forest View Estate properties. There's one property address I'll give you, which is 3517 Forest View Estate, and that one parcel is the parcel that we're talking about tonight, okay? That is the parcel that would have been for a community room. So in 2003, the developer came in with the site plan application for 31 homes. In 2004, they did the platting, they did the rezoning. In 2015, the developer decided to transfer this lot that we're talking about, 3517, to the city for a park purpose. And instead of paying for a park fee, he wanted to give the land. Then the developer changed his mind in 2016, asked the city to give the land back to the developer. He'd pay the park fees, and he wanted to do a community room. So in 2016, the parkland was transferred back to the developer. In 2017, the developer received approval for a site plan modification so that that one lot would have a community room, a 1,400 square foot facility with accessory uses, a courtyard, and a pool, okay? Over time, since 2003 going forward, the 31 homes have been built, and COs have been given for the individual homes. So there are homeowners there now. What wasn't built was the community room. So the city started an enforcement action against the property. We have sent code out to enforce the site plan. And basically, there's going to be a process. The process is going to hearings before the special magistrate. If they don't come into compliance, there's fines that would run against the property, and eventually there could be a foreclosure and an auction of this property. Well, the developer's attorneys contacted me, and they are the law firm of, it's Keith Polyakoff and Richard DeWitt of Government Law Group. They also do municipal work, so you've probably heard of them as city attorneys. So the property owner's attorneys contacted me that, we can go through the process. The city can do the code. We can do the special magistrate, the orders, the liens, recording of liens, going to foreclosure, going to auction, or we can cut off all of that paperwork and all of that staff time, and they could deed the land to us. Now, I have asked for a title opinion from them, which they will be providing to me by next week, but they've made the oral representation that they do not know of any mortgages on the property, but the title report will tell me what defects, if any, are related to this one parcel. In the meantime, I've been in contact with the homeowners, probably over 2 years now, a year and a half, 2 years or so. They've been contacting me. And they're represented by counsel, Ms. Elizabeth Summersteed of Greenspoon Martyr. And the homeowners have expressed an interest that they would like title to the land, and that the developer's attorneys have also made a representation that perhaps they could have the land. I will tell you that the Homeowners Association has given me their documents, as has the developer. The actual Homeowners Association documents do not reflect any right, title, or interest to this land by the Homeowners Association. So there may have been representations and a site plan approval for a community room, but there is no right to a community room as far as the homeowners, legally. So now here we are. The inquiry I'm providing to you is, do you want me to just continue to go through all of these steps and spend code time, special magistrate time, legal time, go through a foreclosure process, spend the money on that, go to court, do all of that, or just get the title to the land on behalf of the city? I will tell you, whoever gets the land would have to do a site plan modification to change the use. So if it's not going to be a community building being built, if we want to use it, let's say, for a park, we could do that. If we take title and we want to make it into a home, we could get the hearing going and to do a site plan modification for that. If you want to give it to the homeowners, then we could do that too. And then it would be a site plan modification to allow them, they would have to come in for to allow it to just be a grassy area or what have you. If we were to get title and we were to give it to the homeowners, you may want to put a restriction on it that it should be used for this public, not a public purpose necessarily unless you decide you want it to be a park, but if you wanted to give it to them, that it be used for the purpose of being a public communal area for the community itself, not to be, make a profit off of it. So because of all that, I want you to also understand that if we decide to keep the land, it is behind a gated community, so we need to have a key or an access to it to be able to use it, so it may not really work well as a public park. I found that out yesterday. So here we are, that's the issues, and what is it that you'd like me to do? I mean, it's beyond my pay grade. You need to tell me what it is you'd like to see.
Just quick, that was for the regular, this 1,400 square feet?
No, it's a regular lot size. The 1,400 square feet would be the facility that the community center, and then a pool and a, what was it called, a courtyard. Yes. It has never been built, but that's what they got the site plan approval for.
Okay, thank you, City Attorney. I have comments from Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor, City Attorney. Okay, so we have a lot that's that has a value that was supposed to been built, a park being built by the developer, and I agree with you at this point that we don't want to spend any more money chasing them down, but the lot has a value, and I can almost assure you that a lot of that size in the area that it's in has a value. If it has a buildable, to build a house on it, it would be sold. The lot, I'm just going to speculate, if you build a 1,400 square foot a house, or what you would call it that, you could probably build a 2,000 square foot house on it, if it's a regular sized lot, which would probably be a value of at least a couple $100,000 in lot value without getting an appraisal on it. And I'm opposed to giving it to anybody, and I'm opposed to building a park on it because we don't have enough money to build the parks that we've already got designated. I have no objection to the homeowners if they want to do something with a lot, but I don't think we should be giving the city money away for free. If they want to purchase the lot and build a house on it, you can. You want to build a lot, buy a lot, put a park on it, you can't. But that's the stuff that was promised us in the beginning, and that's how we should end up with it.
I did look on the property appraiser, and I should have included this in my report. Each home out there is at least $750,000 in value. A lot of them seem to be like 4 or 5 bedroom homes.
Yeah, the lot, I'm sure that the lots, I'm a little familiar with those type of things. I'm sure that lot's worth at least $150,000, if not
and
more.
I believe that from what I saw in the property records for the other parcels, it's about $200,000 is the value of the
So
lot.
my question would be to the homeowners, what is it? What is your use for it? What are you willing to pay? Because I can tell you on my vote, I'll be straight up with you. I'm not giving anything away that belongs to the city. So, as far as that goes, I mean, I'd love you to have the lot and do what you really want to do with it, but there's a value to it, and we can't give it away for free. If we started giving away our property, there's at least 30 or 40 lots that we have in the city right now that are city-owned, and everybody's going to start wanting them for free, and that's not going to happen.
Well, I do want to hear from the property owners. I am going to let Commissioner Rowley weigh in first, but I definitely want to hear coming up next. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor. Do we want to hear from the residents first, or?
I want to hear from them. I think it would be good to kind of hear what their perspective is.
Yeah,
on it.
let's
So
do that
let's go ahead
first,
and do
and
that.
I'll
If
give you my
can hold
comments
off on your
because-
comments till
Yeah,
after.
I'll do
Let's
that.
do that. Liz, Elizabeth.
It's Liz. Technically Elizabeth, but I go by Liz. So Liz Summerstein, Green Spoon Martyr, 200 East Broward Boulevard. I am counsel for the HOA. I'm going to give just a little bit of the background from our perspective as well, just to fill in what City Attorney provided. So again, the site plan was approved in 2003. There were a couple of site plan amendments that happened in 2004. But essentially, this was a 31-home community that was initially set to be developed in 2003. That parcel was initially deeded to the city as kind of the offset for the impact fees for the park. Instead of paying, they dedicated the land to the city. It's 2.28 acres for purposes of just understanding the site size. Fast forward to 2015, at this point, about half of the homes are developed, and the city they put some playground equipment, I believe, on the property. But as was mentioned, the site really has no parking, has inadequate access to serve as a public park. And also at this time, the developer decided we're going to, they haven't finished building out this community, and we're going to create like a club. It was a clubhouse with a pool and I think a half basketball court. So they wanted to have this amenity for the site plan. So they started the process. And what had to happen was in 2015, the first thing that had to happen was they needed to have the city approve deeding this property back to the developer. So that was done, I think it was resolution 2015-009 that approved deeding the property back to the developer. That deed actually says that we're deeding you back this property, but it's got to be used for the use as referenced in this resolution, which was the community center facility for the residents. As part of, once the property was deeded, then the next thing they had to do was they had to amend the plat. So there was a note on the plat that initially said it was for, the whole plat is for the entire development. And it said it was going to be 31 homes plus a 0.28 acre park. That note was amended to say 31 homes plus a 0.28 acre recreational facility that is ancillary to the private uses of this community. So now you have a deed that says that the property can only be for the residents as the community private facility that the city approved. Then there's a plat note that was approved by the city and the county saying that this property is for the residents. Then after all that was done, the developer comes to the city in 2017 and says, all right, now we have to amend the site plan to add the actual building that we want to build. And I just want to point out a couple things that during that process, the DRC, some of the comments that were in the backup, one, staff during their review said, what did you do for public outreach? And the applicant at the time, their response was, every existing homeowner and prospective buyer has been informed about the proposed recreational facility. So the developer made representations to the city, to the people who own the home. So at this point in time, about 15 homes were built. So they made representations to the homeowners, to any prospective buyers, and to the city that they were going to build this facility. And in terms of the HOA documents, staff did say, provide HOA documents addressing maintenance and ownership of the community center. And the applicant provided a draft of those HOA documents. But like the community center, the developer never followed through and recorded those documents, even though the city did request that as part of this application process. So then the site plan was approved in 2017. Again, at this point in time, only about 15 homes were built. The city has a code section that says, no certificate of occupancy shall be issued for any principal building unless and until all improvements required by a plat and all improvements shown on the approved site plan, and then it says including but not limited to common recreational facilities and amenities have been provided and have passed final inspection by the city. And there are some exceptions for when you're doing a phased development or for the final lift of asphalt and things like that, which this was not a phased development. So again, from 2018 until the final CO, which I think was not issued until earlier this year, that's about 6+ years that the city could have stopped the developer from profiting off of the promises that they made to these residents by saying, we're not gonna let you get any more COs and sell any more houses until you build what you promised the residents you were going to build. That didn't happen. And so at this point, the developer has made representations to the city and to us that essentially they're going to walk away. They don't care about the code enforcement violation, which is neither here nor there. But we approached them and they have offered at one point to just give the property to us and walk away. And so at this point, I mean, the residents' ask is to allow, I mean, right now the property ownership is not in the name of the city. It's owned by the developer, and he's essentially said, I'm going to let it go into foreclosure and you can lien the property and go through a foreclosure proceeding. I know he's offered the property to the city as a way of saying, don't sue me, just take it, but he's also offered it to the residents as well. And so our ask is, based off of everything that's happened, the residents want this community center, this facility. Again, the property is located inside of the gated community that they've all purchased in part and reliance that there was going to be this community facility. community center. So we're requesting that the city allow the developer to deed the property back to us. And at this point, to the extent there's any way the city can hold the developer's feet to the fire, we would request to not let go of that option, but also to the extent that there's not, and the residents have to bear the burden of going through with the site plan amendment and raising funds to build the center, that whatever the city can do to make that process easy for them, that they support them in that. So thank you. That's just wanted to give you kind of our perspective.
Thank you for the background on that, Ms. Sommerstein. I think the Vice Mayor has a question for you.
Sure.
You know, I see your predicament, and I understand that if, and I heard you say you wanted to raise the money to build a community center. And as my point of view at this point is that, you know, you were entitled to have that community center and mistakes were made along the way. I would say that if the city took ownership of the property and you came up and back to me and you said, hey, I'm up here, we've got X amount of dollars and we got a committed plan, we got the money in the budget, I would say at the point that at that time, then the city should let you have the lot because you're going to build the community center that you deserve, but you're putting it out of your pocket because the developer had already owned it. We don't own the property. We're getting the property back and basically so we don't sue them. And I'm okay with giving it away at that point. But I think that to give it to you with nothing claimed on it other than an empty lot with promises, that's just more promises that aren't being filled. So in my opinion is if you were able to come up with the funds and show that you had commitments from the residents or you wanted to go sue the developer or however you wanted to do it yourself, and you came up with those funds and said, we have the money and the blueprints and the permits and stuff to build it, I'm all for giving you the lot. But I just can't see us giving away the lot and then you sitting on it for a while deciding whether or not you want to sell it or you want to do something with it.
I'll say that right now the lot is fenced off, the residents can't utilize it. And so even if they were to take title to the property, which is what their desire is, having it as an open field green space for the families that live in that community has value in and of itself. And so there isn't
Who's going to maintain it?
the HOA. They'll have to amend their documents and add maintenance to it.
Okay, and then at that point there would be no who it belongs to the HOA, and they would not be in description, would not ever be able to sell it or build on it and be maintained.
It would be part of the common area.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. You have a question, Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor. So I've had the opportunity to meet with the board. We briefly chatted as well. I'm of the feeling that because of what took place over the past years on this property and the promises that were made by a developer, the COs that were issued, and rightfully so because people had to close on their houses, so that sort of thing does happen in cases like this. I would like to see that property go back to the owners of Forest View in some way, but with conditions. I think the conditions need to be set in place where the city has some sort of guarantees that you as a HOA or homeowners are going to do something with that property and give you a sufficient amount of time in order to do those things, or that property then comes back to the city. I think that, you know, giving you that sufficient time to get your kind of things together, to be able to raise the money and with the homeowners, I think would be a fair way of saying, okay, we want you to be able to do something with that property. It doesn't make any sense for it to be a public park because it's a fenced-in gated area. So who's going to go there? It doesn't make any sense to do that. The only other possibility would be, as the Vice Mayor said, we take control over it and we sell the property. But I think that speaking with our attorney and having some conversations about what could take place, I think that there is some opportunities for us to provide that land back to you, deed it to the homeowners, and then have some contingencies built in that to make sure that it does get built or something gets done with it. It's just not going to be an empty lot.
I'm gonna move on at this point to the residents, the other people who have come up here to speak. And Liz, if you would just stay close,
I'm here for questions.
We can finish up the conversation. But I do want to hear from Jonathan Levine, who's scheduled to speak for 5.2. Could you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Jonathan Levine, 3553 Forest View Circle, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33312. I am a resident of Forest View. I'm on the board, but I'm speaking tonight as a resident and homeowner. I thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, City Manager, and City Clerk for hearing us out tonight. As you've heard, we've been living through this situation for years. The residents purchased homes under the reliance that the developer was going to build the amenities as promised and as per the site plan. Before, as you heard, before the developer took the land back, there was a park, a basic park, but there was some sort of land. There was something to do. There was a park. And the city and the residents were promised something better. But in return, we've been sitting through 7, 8 years of something worse. We've had nothing. We have an amazing community. We have 31 houses and over 110 children in that development. And there's not one common space in there. Not one. Right now, all we have is streets. We need this land. There's not a question. You can ask anyone in the development. I'm not aware of anyone that ever expected that land to be anything other than facilities for us. Obviously, the site plan had a lot of components to it, and we expected the developer to build all of those. But at this point, we have nothing. We need at least the land, and we need a plan to move forward. But I could not see a situation in which that land did not come back to the residents. I mean, that was declared in the plat as common space for our development. It was publicly declared. It's for all intents and purposes, it should be acting as common space to us. And the fact that we're in this position right now is because the developer didn't do what they were supposed to do. And then to punish the residents because of that would be unfair. And it wouldn't be in the interest of either ourselves or the city. For a developer to make commitments in a site plan, to go through the whole process, not fulfill those, not follow through with them, and then ask for a lifeline to get out at the same time, doesn't send a good message. And more importantly, it hurts us. So whatever, the situation is that we come up with, and as Liz said, the residents are looking for that land to come back to us and for us to have facilities that our 117 or 100, how many kids have a safe place to play, that they don't have to only have the streets in their yards to run around. It's a very small lot, 6.5 acres for 31 houses, stuffed in very tightly. This is the only land there. I don't see a scenario in which we don't have that as recreation space for us.
Thank you. I also have Brittany Barsky for item 5.2. If you please come and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and the Commissioners. I'm Brittany Barsky at 3529 Forest View Circle. I'm a homeowner. I'm also a parent. And really, thank you for the wonderful report, our council and John. And I'm just here to reiterate what exactly was said. But I think everything was said, and the space was supposed to be part of our home package. As families, we have 6-bedroom homes. These are homes that are meant for families and a community. And when the developer asked the city to retain this land, it was for really the purpose of families to move in there and enjoy the property and have it built. It was not supposed to be an empty lot still needing to be developed, and for someone else, whether it be the city or the residents, to foot the bill. So again, we're all here on behalf of your city's constituents, the residents of Forest View, to respectfully ask the commission, please, please review the status of the site plan to determine what obligations remain from the developer and help us find a solution to bring this long-awaited community asset to fruition. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Barsky. The Vice Mayor is passionate about this topic today.
I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit better about that. I think that listening to your story and realizing that you got taken by your developer and it slipped through the cracks a little bit. I was opposed because I didn't know what you were going to do with it. I think that if the city wants to, the attorney draws up something that says that you can't sell it for profit and you can't do anything other than turn it into a common area, and you're going to maintain it, and the city holds no responsibility, and the city has nothing to do with building a park, and you want to do it on your own, I think you're entitled to that land because it was their land to begin with when the developer promised you that to build the community center. I just don't want to be responsible for the developer not doing his job. That would be up to you. And if you agree to that, I would agree to what I just said if the commission agreed to it. But I think you deserve the land to let the kids play on it. I see your point. I just don't want to have a profit to the residents to offset some of the things. I mean, I'm good with giving you the land. Just do what you want to do with it. It's your problem, but no selling the land and no profit out of it, just for your children and in the community area. But barbecue pits or whatever you want to put on them, That's what I have to say, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Ryan?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I've dealt with COs professionally throughout the years here working in the city, and it surprised me how we gave a CO to this developer without site plan approval. I've dealt with people who wouldn't get the CO because they had to move like a little planter.
Right.
So this is just, it's surprising to me that this city operated in this way to provide the CO. I understand that, the developer's on the hook and he has to sell the properties, and I guess that was the story that he pitched, but that's all we're getting. We're just getting a bunch of stories between two private entities making a deal, okay? The city got tangled up in this because we issued the COs prematurely, and this is where we stand. But, this lot that is given to us to a developer, we're still entitled to the fines and the fees that have been incurring on this property. So, Eve, if we go through the whole process with the developer to get this property and foreclose on it and take it over, that's going to cost us more money than the actual value of the property?
I can't say that. I will tell you right now, there are no fines. It hasn't gone through. All it has is a notice of violation.
Still?
All we have is the notice of violation. We have postponed the hearings because right when they were cited, their attorney contacted me and said, I'm willing to give you the land. So I have continued the hearing to bring this to you so you can have the discussion of what it is you would like to do. If they don't come into compliance, if we go to the special magistrate and there's a ruling by the special magistrate that they're in violation, then it starts triggering a fine. It's a daily fine that would run. And, you have to wait at least 90 days afterwards before you could file a foreclosure claim. And then you have to pay for the court fees and all that other stuff and do the foreclosure. And then you settle it for auction. That's usually what happens. So, and then under auction, you could bid on it. The city could try and bid on it too. The homeowners could try and bid on it. A third party could bid on it.
Yeah, and that causes more of a problem in the private gated community.
Yes.
Look, we're here. We're not. This isn't a tribunal judge. Okay, we're here to conduct business for the city, and this is a business opportunity for the city. When you talk about this piece of land, the properties in that neighborhood are selling for millions of dollars. Like well over 1.2, 1.5 millions of dollars. So this lot here, what is it? 0.2 acres, ma'am?
0.28.
So what? That's over 12,000 square feet. That's a big lot. You could build on a 6,500 square foot lot in this city. So that's almost a double lot, and it holds value, and that's a valuable area. And this is almost, if we just give it to the homeowner association, how do we know that they're going to treat it correctly? How are all members of that community going to vote that is used for that purpose? That's what I want to know. I think the city should take over this property, and then we could come up to a separate agreement with the homeowner association, because eventually it should go to them, whether it's for monetary or whatever changes that we would have to make.
If we took, if I may, Mayor?
Yes.
If we took title to the property, the developer gives us the title, we could put a covenant on the land and process it for giving it to the homeowners association, that it be used for certain community development purposes, meaning for the community as a common area. Now,
and we could offer it to them for a monetary amount too.
Okay, that's up to you. I'm just saying that's the basics.
I'm talking to the commission. I just want to hear what I'm saying. Yeah.
And just one last thing, the transfer, there is a site plan and a plat requirement. So right now, whoever would get title to would have to comply with those terms, or else a new code case could start. But if they don't want to, and they just want to make it a green space common area, they could come in for a site plan modification, so a few $1,000s, and pay for notices or whatever, and come in for the modification to turn it into a green space common area.
So that's probably the cleanest way possible from what we're discussing. But at the end of the day, the developer gets off clean.
I don't know that the developer has any other
I know,
assets.
well,
This is a limited liability company.
Yeah.
And when I looked on the.
Yeah, I know. They
statute-
create a company and they build a thing and they, we all know. Okay. All right. I just wanted to convey those ideas and I'll discuss it further with the commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan, for those comments. Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yes, I basically agree with what you just said, Eve. I think it's, and kind of what you said as well, I think it does need to come to us first, and then we can make the decision as to how we're going to deal with this. I don't have an issue if they are going to use it for a common area and it's going to be a green space and that sort of thing. But I think if we're going to do something like that, the property does have a value. We need to have them do whatever they're going to do within a certain period of time, and it does have to be in the deed. There has to be some sort of restriction in it. Because otherwise it is valuable property that technically we're entitled to at this point. And I hate to see us give that up, especially with everything that's going on right now in the state with the money not being available any longer. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. Thank you, Commission, for this healthy discussion here. I was all the way, this is business, this is property, when I just heard it, outright. We're not in a time where the city can afford to just give away property that we could actually generate revenue. But after hearing the details and hearing from the residents, I do think, I definitely understand how when somebody tells you, the developer tells you you're going to get a community center thing, and you really paid for and thought that you were building a community in which you were promised to get something. And so I do believe you deserve that. I think we have experts in real estate here on our commission, and we have our city attorney. I do want to make sure that it is for those purposes, though, and for me, that is what I would want to be able to do, is just to make sure that you got what you were originally promised, and if that comes through the covenant or however you want to do it, then I think that that's a great solution. So if I have a motion from the commission based on this conversation, I'd appreciate it. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I'd like the motion to state, though, can I do that? I'd like the motion to state that, like picking up from everybody here, that we would like it to go to the city to put into an agreement of, that it's, this is up to you, you've made all that stuff up, that they have to use it for a park only, they can't resell it, and do all those things that you do that shows that that they can use it for their children, and that's it. They can't do anything else. If they want to build on it, it has to be a community center out of their pocket. Everything has to come out of their pocket to do. But I really feel that they're entitled to the land. They should have had the land was theirs anyhow, and the developer was putting it there, and he deserves. The only thing that's missing is the building, and it's everybody's got a little bit of a give here. So that's my end of it. I think if that's kind of the motion I'm making, if I can get a second on it.
If I could, just one clarification, I'd like to also require that the title opinion come clean, so that we don't inherit any other headaches.
Well, how about you draw it up the way that we, like we're talking about, and then we can present it to them and offer it to them at that point. If they decide they want, then we make then we take the vote to give it to the property under those conditions.
I think I hear an acclamation then. You're deciding not to move with the motion. You have an acclamation to do these factors.
Well,
but to wait to see first what the title report says.
Yeah, we have to be clean on it first, own it, and then turn it over to them under the conditions that are acceptable to everybody, but with no value to us. It's just a value that they're going to follow the rules of putting it out there, like they said, for the children in their green space. Is that fair enough?
A second. All right. Thank you for that motion. Vice Mayor, Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'd like to second that. But before, Eve, we talked about what's the minimal amount of dollars it would cost the residents from obtaining this land. We talk extensively about that. I would like to explore whatever possible that makes it the minimal amount that they would have to come up with in order to acquire this.
So I had gotten an estimate, I think it's like the cost for, if they did not want to build the community center anytime soon, and they decided that they just wanted to make it into a common green space that kids could use, that the 31 homes could use, they would need to do a site plan modification so that we don't come back and hound them and give them a citation like we did to the developer. And that would cost about maybe $2,000 for the application and maybe $2,000 in costs. That is refundable back to them if it's not used.
Okay. And just want to clarify, if they use it as a green space, are they able to put slides and like whatever they want to do in there without?
Look, we can go into the weeds on this,
Well,
but basically, if it's open green space with minor, equipment, I don't think they need a site plan approval for that. But if you're talking about a major construction of slides and then yes,
So,
it needs a
so
site
just
plan
so you
approval.
know, it could turn into more money if you decide to do something more extensive later down the road. But as green space itself, the minimum is going to be somewhere in the 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 range or so?
Just to get rid of the requirement for building the community center, community room.
All right, great. And so it's, I guess I second the motion.
So I have a first and a second. Laura, you want to call it to a vote? Hold on. Yeah, Eve, can you restate the entire motion? It was a little convoluted.
So from what I understand from it, basically contingent upon getting the title report and that it's, it's a good reason for us to get title to the property, we're going to ask the developer to give the property to the city. The city will then prepare an agreement for transfer of the property to the homeowners for a common use element. First, as under the plat, for the community room, unless it's modified by a hearing before the city commission to just a common use area. Not to be used for resale and all at the cost of the homeowners.
Excellent. Laura?
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Llewellyn?
I'm sorry, I just have a real quick question. So when that agreement is prepared, will it be coming back to us?
Yes.
To review so we can discuss it further? Okay, then that's fine.
That's the direction you're giving me to work on.
Yes, okay.
Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yes.
Commissioner Romali?
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Salvino?
Oh, yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Mayor, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking such time and consideration on this matter.
Thank you, Commission. That was a healthy discussion. We came out, I believe, on the right side of things here. So next we have the city clerk reminders.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Your next meeting is scheduled for July 7th with your CRA at 6 p.m. and your commission meeting at 7 p.m. And then you go on your summer break and return on August 4th for your budget workshop at 4:30 p.m. And then following that, you have your August 25th CRA meeting at 6 p.m. and then your regular meeting scheduled for 7 p.m.
Thank you so much, City Clerk. Appreciate that. One more meeting until summer. Next, we have our public safety reports by our very own Captain Jason Tarala. Thank you, Captain.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, City Manager, City Clerk. I want to start off by saying we've had a very busy couple weeks, made a lot of really good arrests. There was a stolen vehicle that came out of the city of Miami Beach earlier this week, and our deputies got a bolo on the vehicle. And as we were patrolling our city, we were able to locate that vehicle over the area of Griffin and 441. Our deputies were able to back off, not let the vehicle or the driver of that vehicle know that we were following it. We ended up tactically following the vehicle into the city of Lauderhill, where once we got our helicopter overhead, we were able to tactfully box that vehicle in and get the driver into custody without incident. We were able to get the vehicle back to the owner, and that individual was placed into custody for grand theft auto out of the city of Miami Beach. For July 4th coming up, I've been working with the city of Hollywood. Obviously, we all know they have a very big fireworks show, and for our city, we always deal with the traffic leaving. So as we do every year, we'll have a operational plan in place to help assist with the traffic leaving, because, they push all their traffic usually southbound or northbound, and usually northbound to Dania Beach Boulevard, and then they'll push them out towards Federal Highway. So we will have a plan in place with our deputies out there to help out with Federal Highway and to push to either Sterling or Griffin Road like we always do every year to get the vehicles out of our city as quickly as possible so there's no issues with our city that night. We're also going to be having our deputies on the beach for 4th of July weekend. Obviously, we know it's going to be very busy, so I'll make sure we have 2 deputies assigned to the beach for Saturday, Sunday, and Friday to make sure we have that covered. And we also have our Dania Point ops for that weekend going on. We had a meeting with Kimco this past weekend, and we went over the planned takeover that happened a couple weeks ago, and we went over future planned takeovers. We had a debrief with him and his staff, and his boss, Mr. Freeman, who's the regional director for Kimco. And we had a very good meeting. They're very supportive of everything we're doing, very supportive of the city, very supportive of our plan, and anything we need from a law enforcement standpoint or a city standpoint, they're 100% behind us. And it was a very good proactive meeting that we had with them to address anything further if we have on the property going out throughout the summer. And lastly, we have the World Cup games coming up. As of right now, our hotels are not hosting any teams. Obviously, we know that can change, but we have plans in place that we constantly work with the hotels to make sure. Last I checked with the La Meridian, they are not hosting any teams. Our hotels are at full capacity with players coming in. I'm sorry, not players, fans coming in to stay at our hotels as well as media. But as of right now, no teams are staying here. We don't know what that looks like for the semifinals, depending on who might make it. Those hotels have not been designated yet, so we'll see what happens, whatever teams make it to the semifinals. But as of right now, our city is not hosting any teams. And last but not least, I invited Sergeant Valdez, who is my crime suppression team sergeant, to come tonight because I wanted him to talk to you guys about some of the issues we've been dealing with on the Federal Highway Corridor, some of our operations we've been doing, some of the arrests we've been making, because I always come here and speak to you, but I'd like for you to hear it directly from my crime suppression team supervisor who oversees those operations, puts the operations together, is overseeing those arrests. He's the one that provides everything to me. So instead of me having to be the point of contact, you guys can hear it directly from him. And if you have a question, you guys can ask him directly. If he can answer it, he'll answer it. If he can't, because it's an open investigation, he'll let you know. But you guys can feel free to ask him some questions. Roberto, want to come up?
Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
So, like Captain said, I am the supervisor over the crime suppression team here in Dania. I just wanted to speak a little bit of what we've been doing the last 4 months. We've been running several operational plans between convenience stores like Happy Family and Federal Highway. Through those operations, we were able to develop probable cause to arrest about 8 individuals who are selling narcotics from motels, Happy Family, and convenience stores around the city. One of those dealers that deals out of Happy Family, we were able to obtain a search warrant for his residence, where we got trafficking amounts of MDMA as well as a stolen firearm. I want to say that one of the biggest issues that I've seen in the time I've been here, or most complaints for quality of life issues, has been along Federal Highway, from about the 300 block of South Federal Highway to about the 1300 block of Federal Highway, with all the motels and hotels in that area. So just so you guys can have some perspective, in the last 4 months, between 300 South Fed to 1400 South Fed, BSO Dania has made about 70 arrests, with 4 of them today. Most of those arrests are narcotics and prostitution related. And when I say narcotics, I'm not talking about marijuana. I'm talking about hard narcotics like cocaine, crack cocaine, MDMA. We had a prostitution operation where in a span of 5 hours, we arrested over 26 individuals. If you compare the north side of Federal Highway, so let's say from the 300 block of South Fed all the way to the end of the city, we've had about 35 arrests in the north end. But here's the catch. Out of those 35 arrests, the grand majority of them are just from the CVS or the Walgreens there on Sterling and Fed, and the Dollar Tree or Dollar Family that's there for retail theft. So out of those 30 arrests, most of them are for retail theft, And the people that are committing those retail thefts are coming from the motels. These people are not coming from outside of the city to commit crimes. They're coming from the hotels because they attract that criminal element. So, yeah, and in general, that is probably the biggest issue that I've seen in the city right now.
Thank you, Sergeant Valdez. Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Sergeant Valdez. That's some incredible numbers there. Thanks for all you guys do to try to keep that clean as possible. Captain, can I go back to the firework question, though? I don't remember hearing you say that they were going to either, did they close the bridge on Sheridan and Dania Beach Boulevard?
They did 2 years ago, if you remember, because the construction,
Right.
that was an issue we dealt with. Last year, they did not close any bridges.
So they'll stay open then?
Yes, they should stay open this year.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure so residents know if they do
Yes.
close there. Okay.
No, they should stay open this year. So that helped a lot last year with the traffic.
Yeah.
We didn't have the issues that we had the previous year.
Okay, perfect.
So I will double check. I have a meeting with the Hollywood Major on Thursday to go over the plan. So
Okay.
I'll come back. I'll let you guys know.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And again, thank you, Sergeant Valdez.
Thank you, Commissioner Romoli. Commissioner Llewellyn.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Sergeant, for that information. That's very helpful. And I wanted to see if I understand. I know they're coming, the people that are committing those thefts and the arrests that are taking place are primarily in the area with the motels. Is it the same people, like once they get arrested, are they then getting out and coming back?
So that's part of the issue. A lot of people are repeat customers or repeat offenders where we'll make an arrest and then a couple days later they're back out in the same area doing the same thing.
Right, so it is sometimes the same people coming back over and over again?
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's where they live, basically. So, and a lot of these people are more long-term as opposed to short-term.
So yeah, so the motels rent short-term, but they stay there for a long time. They just pay day to day, week to week. It's just their model allows them to do that.
The way that I've been kind of describing it when I hear about it is it's kind of like whack-a-mole.
Yes.
So like you knock one out and it comes right back up and somewhere else. So right in the same area. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And I want to highlight something real quick.
Absolutely.
As we know, the city manager gets a lot of complaints on that. The commission does. And, you know, that's something that we've hit so hard to address because there's so many complaints that I get from the residents and the city manager gets and you all get. And it's very important that our community knows that we are doing everything humanly possible within the scope of the agency to enforce this. What Sergeant Valdez has been able to do since he's come here, when you hear those numbers and those arrests he's made, that is a lot of work and a lot of hours and a lot of grind that they are putting in. It's not just going out there arresting people, they're making CIs, they're identifying these drug dealers, they're identifying prostitutes, they're identifying the pimps who are bringing the women into our city. They are doing phenomenal work to clean up the city. And I just really hope our residents know how hard our guys are working to clean up the city. And as you hear by the numbers, they're making phenomenal strides, but there's still obviously work we got to do.
Thank you, Captain. I mean, 70 arrests, that's huge. So that element is very concerning, but thank you for what you do. City Manager, I believe, needed to comment.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I want to say thank you, Sergeant Valdez and Chief Tarala, because I want to echo what the chief said. The work that they're doing requires a lot of man hours, a lot of resources that all the taxpayers are paying for a very small corridor. A corridor that's sucking up all of our BSO's time and resources. On top of that, a very dangerous corridor. They're putting their lives in danger. They're out there with criminals with guns, stolen guns, on drugs, with warrants. It's an incredible job that these individuals are doing for very small corridors to protect our residents and our businesses. And the numbers that they're stating today, that's just the last 4 months. But they're doing this day in, day out, 365 days a year. They've been doing it the last 7 years I've been here, and it's the same situation. When they talk about these offenders come out, it doesn't matter if they come out to the back or there's a new offender waiting on at these locations, at this corridor. Until we do something different, this is going to stay the same way it is. We could put all the officers we want, but this area needs to change. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Seeing none, thank you both for all you do to keep us safe. That's a very commendable job. Thank you so much. I forgot your name, but we have a representative of Chief Pelissard today. I did say good evening to him, but if you would please come and state your name for the record so that we can recognize you properly. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, City Manager. My name's Jim Bishop. I'm District Chief covering for Sergio. Known him forever and a day. But as you are aware, Station 1 and Station 17 units continue to be one of the busiest in our agency. With that, in the month of May, they ran 675 calls. 137 of those were fire related. And it could be a fire alarm or whatever. But 538 of those were covered medical calls. Out of those medical calls, the four highest: trouble breathing, unconscious, sick person, and fall injuries. And we talked about fall injuries earlier. So those are the big calls that come out of that. In the last month, the men and women out of Station 17 and 1 have completed their biannual ACLS and CEUs to recert. So we've completed that part for the advanced cardiac life support that they need to renew for their paramedic license. Station 17 was proud to host a group of special needs children for the station tour. They provided them with the opportunity to explore the fire station, meet with the men and women at the fire station, interact with them, and hopefully they enjoyed their event and it's memorable for them. Mayor, as you know, they will continue, the fire service or the fire department here will continue with their Saturday safety event, which will be on the 13th over with water safety courses at CW, Thomas Park. So.
Excellent. Chief knows that's one of my favorite programs is Safety Saturdays, and that you're doing it right in time for summer is amazing.
Yes.
So thank you. Was that completion of your report? Yes.
Completes my report.
It's the best way to end it on Safety Saturdays. And now be careful because we have CW Thomas Park. It is summer and those pools are dangerous without proper supervision and be safe out there. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. District Chief Bishop.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, up next, we have our citizens' comments, and we have up first Mr. Robert Kirschgraber. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Robert Kirschgraber, Dania Beach, Florida. Mayor, Commissioners, Attorney, City Manager, City Clerk. First and foremost, I wanted to give a big shout out to Captain Jason Tyrella and Detective Amanda Vecchio. I was a victim of fraud a couple months ago, and it was financial fraud. And I spoke with the captain here, and he got the right people on it. And I just want to say a big shout out because I'm sure I'm not the only resident here in Dania Beach that has had this problem. It was a data breach. They jumped into my computer and they wiped me out financially. So, you know, we do all these proclamations and awarenesses for the community. I think it'd be nice if we have a little awareness for cybersecurity and, you know, I'm a senior, but I mean, I'm not like my dad who's 88 years old. You know, I mean, they prey on our seniors. Okay, and I think it's something that, as a city, I would like to see some type of an awareness to the residents and especially our seniors. You know, you're not going to lose your iCloud storage. You're not going to lose your photos. Give me your credit card number, that type of thing, you know. But going back to the BSO department, Detective Amanda, Captain Jason, hats off to you. You guys have been absolutely amazing. She's an absolute tiger. She doesn't let go. She's genuine. Captain Jason, he took the time to speak with me. Everything has been 10 out of 10. I can't thank them enough. It's still in progress, and like I said, I thank you very much, and I just want to give them a little shout out and recognition. As for listening to this developer issue, you know, we all have bad issues, you know, whether the car dealership doesn't honor what they're doing or a developer doesn't do what they're supposed to do. Guess what, folks? It happens. It's business, it's life. I think the city should take over the property, and if there's a value to it, then we need to sell it. Just saying. And what that developer needs to be blacklisted from Dana Beach forever. Anything that he does, if his name is on it, his family's name's on it, his brother, his sister, his cousin, his divorced wife, whoever it is, and there's ties to these people, the answer should be no. And moving forward, I think that the city of Dana Beach should consider putting an escrow. Let's get these escrow. If these I don't really know of a broke developer. I really don't. They've got yachts, they got boats, houses, drive nice cars, flashy jewelry. We should have an escrow account set up. You know, you say about all these incentives and this, that, and the other thing. We need to have the tail stop shaking the dog, okay? We need to take control of our city, and I think one of the ways we can do it is hold these people financially accountable. Let's get some escrows built up instead of false promises. And with
Thank you, Mr. Kirschgraber.
I thank you for the
appreciate
time.
it. Thank you. City Manager. These are action items. Thank you. City
Thank you,
Manager.
Mayor. Just one comment for the public here and for the public at home. The city has 3 senior clubs, and our BSO provides cybersecurity training and fraud training at each one of the senior clubs. So any senior out there that wants to receive this free training, they could attend any of our 3 senior clubs and be assured that we provide not just cybersecurity training, fraud training, but also life-saving skills training from our fire department. Those are free services that we as a city to provide all of the seniors here in Dania Beach. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, City Manager Sosa Cruz. And I have seen them conduct some of these meetings, and I know our community officers, detective sessions, they go and they let everybody know about the latest in scams that are going on in our city. So we do offer those services, and so thank you for reiterating that. Next, we have Gasper Arts. Just said it doesn't have a name from Gasper, so if a representative, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is...
Go ahead, pull the mic down so we can hear you. Thank
Hello.
you.
My name is Jo Vuchaink, and I am the manager at Gasper Arts, and this is Hannah. She will be representing the 5 galleries.
Hello, how are you, Commissioner and Governor and everybody here in the committee? It was wonderful to hear you speak about all the matters in Dania Beach, and thank you for having us today. My name is Hannah Bitan. I am an artist and a gallerist and an owner of Bitan Art Gallery at Dania Point. As an artist and gallery owner and small business entrepreneur, I've had the privilege of meeting people from all over South Florida who are looking for meaningful experiences, places to connect, and communities that feel authentic. I've discovered that Dania Beach really has so much to offer as a new resident of Dania Beach. We have incredible artists, unique galleries, creative businesses, restaurants, entertainment, and a character that feels genuine and welcoming. Yet, when I speak to visitors who come to my gallery, many have no idea how much art, culture, and creativity exists right here in Dania Beach. I believe that this is our opportunity. As Broward County First City, Dania Beach has a rich history, but I also believe we have an exciting future. Through Dania Beach Art Week, we have a chance to shine a light on the creative energy that already exists here and invite people and everybody from the surrounding communities to experience it for themselves. Dania Beach is uniquely positioned to build on that momentum. Located at the center of South Florida with easy access to Broward, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach counties, our city has an incredible opportunity to introduce everything Dania Beach has to offer. Through the arts, we can create a reason for people to discover our restaurants, shops, galleries, businesses, and cultural spaces. Let's invite them to experience Dania Beach not as a destination they pass through, but as a destination they choose to visit. This isn't just about art hanging on walls. It's about creating experiences. It's about painting, families painting together on a community canvas. It's about students seeing artists work and imagining new possibilities for themselves. It's about all of us here bringing people together through creativity and creating memories that want them to come back again and again. So as someone who chose to invest in Dania Beach and build a business here, I can tell you that I see a potential in this every day. I see artists who create, business owners who support one another, and people that are looking to something inspiring that walk through my doors of my art gallery. Our vision is simple. We want a Dania Beach Art Week to become a celebration on everything that makes the city special. We want to encourage a collaboration between all of us, and most importantly, we want this just to be the beginning. We want to plan a Dania Beach Art Week, but our goal is to create something lasting, an annual tradition that grows every year and becomes a source of pride for our city. I'm grateful to be working alongside Mad Arts, Gasper, Comfort for Chaos, Loxion,
Thank you,
and
Hannah.
everybody else.
I think we have the idea here, and I appreciate that idea. As someone who has been the liaison with the Public Arts Advisory Board, we love our arts in Dania Beach, and we're looking at more creative ways to make art have a bigger presence. So thank you, and we can follow up with you after this, but thank you for your presentation. Appreciate it. Thank all of you all here. Thank you. All right, we're not going to clap right now. Thank you. We're in our action items, but thank you. If you guys want to do jazz hands, go ahead and do that. That's what they call them, jazz hands, and we want to do that, but we want to be respectful. If you want to show love, it's all love here. All right. Next, we're going to have Cheryl Robinson. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
How you guys doing? Cheryl Robinson for everywhere, from everywhere. And I do it for the culture. A lot of people would never want to ever say something about the police, BSO, or any other law enforcement ever, because they're probably afraid to get arrested. They might get, you never know what they could probably do. Shout out to the captain, though. That's one of my favorites, so it's nothing personal. It's just about life. A lot of them arrests that was made recently was because of drug entrapment. That's when you bring the officers to dress up like the basers and then get them to serve them the drugs. That's been going on for quite some time. And now that I'm grown and I'm older to really understand that what really been a problem in my community, that's one of them. It's a shame that we do that. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame that, you know, a lot of, even my culture, I'm here to speak for them because a lot of people like to speak for the streets. I'm here to speak for the streets. A lot of people, they just feel like that's their last hope. It's sad to say. Some of us had people to encourage them and to teach them something else. You know, some people learn things faster, but it's just a sad thing. Some of them just feel like that's all they got. But with all the money the city got, it could be some better resources, I feel, that can be better for these guys. You get what I'm saying? $98.86 million, and then most of this money is because of the taxpayers. 56.4% is including because of the taxpayers and all that. So pretty much the city built the city, and it's crazy. Just like when you had these people up here trying to get property and things like that, I feel like it's time for the city to probably start giving some of the residents some property. Y'all have a lot of money. All of the cities that I've been going to a lot of them, and I feel like you said, I like what you said, Vice Mayor. You said if they had a blueprint or something or whatever, you all for it. I think if you guys need to do probably a little blueprint workshop or something for the residents. See, could come up with the best little, projects or something for we can start owning our property and our land, because a lot of these developers coming in and we got to keep leasing and renting and stuff like that with our businesses. We want to have a little something like Danny Pier too. We want to build us a little community too on First Street. Danny, oh my God, it looks terrible. Shout out to the football field. We love it, but I don't see no residents. I've been over there. I don't see nobody I recognize, you know what I'm saying? Probably because they got caught in the drug entrapment. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like we need to start doing better with the community because they're residents too, although they don't dealers, sellers, whatever they are. They're residents. They're residents, and we need to stop just talking about them, talking about cleaning up. That we're going to clean up the community. They're part of the community. Let's clean them up too, okay? It's terrible. We got enough money to do a lot of more things than what we're doing than beating people down more than they use. It's hard out here. Sometimes, I'm from the culture. Some of us, that's all we know is to get a $40 rock and bust it down and make $200 or whatever and go get our kids some school clothes. Sorry, it's a sad reality, but that's what's really be going on, okay? But the city got a lot of money that we can start putting some resources and bettering our people, do some real trade, to get them ready there to the finish line. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Mr. DeRosa, please come up and state your name and address for the record, please. Mr. DeRosa, if you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Sean DeRosa. I would like to briefly address statements made about me during the June 18th PJ Milley community meeting. During that meeting, I was publicly accused of spreading misinformation, misleading residents, being deceptive, and providing lies regarding the proposed height and density amendments along Federal Highway. However, my comments were based upon language contained within the city's own June 9th agenda packet that was transmitted to the commission under the authority of the city manager, Candido Sosa Cruz. The ordinance language stated height greater than 14 stories may be granted by special exception of approval. I did not create that language. I did not invent that language. I simply read the cited language contained within the city's own published ordinance. In fact, the city manager's subsequent written response does not dispute that the language exists. But that raises a simple question. If neither city staff nor this commission intends to allow requests for heights above 14 stories, then why was that language authorizing requests for heights greater than 14 stories included in the ordinance presented to this commission on June 9th for your vote and approval? And if the intent is truly to limit development to 14 stories, why not remove that language tonight? Why not make it crystal clear to residents that 14 stories means 14 stories? Because if language allowing requests for additional height remains in the ordinance, residents are entitled to ask why it remains there. I would also respectfully ask why neighborhood-specific workshops have not been scheduled for the residents living directly east and west of Federal Highway, who will be most affected by these proposed changes involving height, density, stormwater, pervious area reductions, and development incentives. Residents deserve complete transparency before a final vote on July 7th. In addition, while reviewing city records, I recently discovered a notice of violation issued by the city of Dania Beach requiring another property owner to comply with its approved site plan because the property was operating outside of that approval. That raises an important question regarding 2750 Griffin Road, Griffin Living. I have reviewed the August 25th, 2020 site plan approval record, the April 28, 2026 site plan modification approval record, and the meeting minutes associated with those approvals. I have been unable to locate any disclosure, analysis, review, discussion, or approval relating to vacation rentals, short-term rentals, transient lodging, or hotel-type use. If approved site plans are enforceable elsewhere in Dania Beach, where within the Griffin Living site plan approvals were those uses disclosed, discussed, and approved? If such approval exists, please identify it. If it does not exist, residents deserve an explanation as to why site plan compliance standards would apply to one property but not another. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeRosa, and that will conclude our citizens' comment. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to let the public know we are having the core meetings. We started our first core meeting Thursday, June 18th at PJ Milley. Our next core meeting is Thursday, July 9th at Frost Park Community Center, following with Thursday, August 20th at Southwest Community Center, and then our last core meeting, Wednesday, September 16th at C.W. Thomas Community Center. We do these core meetings every year. This is where we take City Hall out to the community and we hit every community center in the city. We publicize it on our social media, on our webpage, to let everyone know to come and ask any questions they might have. These core meetings are specifically for the residents to ask anything they want to. We have our police chief, our fire chief, community development director, parks director, code enforcement, city manager, city attorney, deputy city manager. The whole team is there specifically to answer the questions from our residents. Thank you. This information I just shared is also on the city website.
Thank you, City Manager, for that update and giving those next core meeting dates. Next, we will move on to the consent agenda, item 8.
Madam Mayor, before you go into the consent, I just wanted to just point out that item number 8.6 was pulled from the agenda.
Okay. Are there any other items that the commission wishes to pull? Commissioner Ryan?
I'd like to pull item 8.4.
8.4. Any other items commission wishes to pull, Vice Mayor?
That was the same thing. I just have a question on it. 8.4.
8.4. Commissioner Llewellyn?
Going to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 8.4.
Okay. Do I have a second? Say it in the mic, please, Vice Mayor.
Okay, second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, the consent agenda passes with the exception of item 8.4.
Would you like me to read 8.4?
Yes, please. Eve, if you would please read item 8.4.
A resolution of the City Commission approving change order number 1 in the amount of $183,399.83 to the agreement with Rickman Construction Florida, Inc. for the Southeast Drainage Retrofit Project Phase 2, authorizing the city manager to execute change order number 1, provided for conflicts and effective date. This is public services.
Good night, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, City Manager, and City Clerk. Oscar Vasquez, Public Service Director.
Thank you, Oscar. I'm going to start with the vice. Who pulled it? You pulled it first?
You did, but I'm the vice mayor. I should get second.
He's pulling right.
Go
ahead. Go ahead.
I'll make
Vice
it quick.
Mayor.
I won't take long.
Go ahead.
I just have a quick question for you. I think this is more than 2 times that we've had approval of a change order. And my question is, this is the second or third time we've had a change order. You keep adding $100,000, $150,000, $180,000. Is that true?
This is the first one for this phase, for phase 2.
Okay.
The previous 8 change order has been for phase 1. It's the same company, the same area, different phases.
Why do we constantly getting change orders when?
Due to the design drawings.
Are you changing the things along the way?
The design has some mistake that was approved originally, and during the construction, some unforeseen conditions were found.
I understand all the changes, stuff like that. It just seems like we probably given away between the first phase and second phase. It looks like over another $500,000 And it just seems like we had a budgeted amount for the thing, and it's going very high, and I don't understand how they can be off by so much on the changes. That's my question, but that's up to the city manager to, I guess, question why they can't get it right on the first thing, or at least come within a smaller amount of change order. But they're sizable.
No, usually when they do the contract, they bid for a specific item based on the design drawings, and they go bid items. So that's the original contract that has a number. This phase is the original number is $70 million. So the best business practice is to allocate 10% of that particular full amount as a contingency item for unforeseen condition. Even though you have everything captured during the design process, you can find unforeseens or conflicts during the construction process that need relocation, upset existing utilities, something that was not addressed or identified during the design process that has the most accurate information available within all the utilities and service areas in that particular locations. Okay. So that's the thing that is happening for the unforeseens.
Okay, well, I wonder if we hit the highest number on other things that they give us our money back, you know, like if they didn't spend so much in the way. I'm messing with you right now.
All right. Vice Mayor, thank you. You want to weigh in on it?
I just want to add one quick comment, and we all agree that we never want to bring forward a change order. That's typically an unforeseen change in the drainage project, but I want to also put it in context that this is a $30+ million drainage project, and even small changes are going to be in the tens of thousands, and it is unforeseen when they open up and they're expecting something, even though they have a design. When they open up underground, there could be something totally different, and unfortunately, we have to make a decision, and in this case, we have to make the decision of moving forward to completing the project. We are in a tight deadline, but we negotiate, we push back on many changes that don't come forward, that the commission is not aware of, because we send it back, we debate with the contractor, we negotiate, they have to do it, but there are certain circumstances like this one where we do have to bring it forward and continue, and for that, we did plan an allotted contingency of $1.7 million out of the $30+ million for the actual project. I just want to put, again, everything in context, because as much as we would hate to do it, there are times that we just have to.
Thank you, City Manager. Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I pulled this item for a few reasons. Same thing like Commissioner Salvino, Vice Mayor Salvino had a question about it. The first change order was about the same number, and it was for phase 1 of the Southeast Drainage Project. This one's for phase 2. What they did was they identified trees that they think need to be taken down after the fact. And then there's other work that they had to do. They had to lift back, uplift the roads again, tear back into them again. I lived through this where they tore up the street right in front of my house and my neighbor's house, and it was torn up for 2 weeks. And then my neighbor comes knocking on my door. Guy almost had a heart attack because his 2 trees were being torn down because they said that they had to put a pipe right under there, even though our street was open up for 2 weeks. And those trees have been there for 40 years, 40 plus years. So, and that the company that was subbed out from Rickman basically went to people, didn't even tell anybody about their trees getting torn down, just went there and said, this is the city of Dania Beach, like they were representing the city of Dania Beach. There's nothing you could do about it. We're tearing it down. You're holding me up. You're holding up my money. And they were very rude, extremely rude, horrible representation. I must compliment, though, I will compliment Rickman, their foreman, and I will compliment the city of Dania Beach for coming out and, making things go a lot more smoother. And I tried to explain that, like, look, these contractors are not customer service, but the city of Dania Beach is definitely customer service. But from what I'm seeing, it just doesn't make sense to me. I think that they want to tear down these 2 trees because they didn't like their, they had to drive around them a little bit with their giant tractors going through the road the whole time. Because how come you can't put a 15-inch pipe in the middle of the road that's already been ripped up, and then you come back and you tear everybody's tree down in that swale and then replace with 15-inch pipe? So I don't know if the change, that responsibility is on Rickman or who it's on. If it's on the city engineering team to pay attention to it, but we really need to look into what's going on here, especially along the Second Avenue, because if you're going to ask for, of course, if they get the $180,000 change order on phase one, they're just going to say, yeah, let's do the same thing and put a couple X's on a couple trees to the neighborhood and charge another $180,000, pay the contract, the subcontractor, $60,000, boom, made 120 grand. All right, so like, it's just, there's good business practice and there's poor business practices. And I'm not blaming the city of Dania Beach, but this is just something that we really need to pay attention to. Yeah, we put $1.7 million there on side for contingency, but it's not for something just to grab, just to unnecessarily remove vegetation and greenery in our neighborhoods. So it's just something I really wanted to look into. I understand the costs that come with this. I understand it's a $30 million project, but when you see it face to face and when you see something done throughout months of work, and then they come and say, no, well, we're going to do this too. Look, I'm not an engineer, okay? But some things just didn't add up to me. And I'm a commissioner. I have the whole city staff at my disposal for questions. And I still, I don't get the exact answers. But I must say that the gentleman who was very concerned about his trees being removed, he gave high accolades to city staff that came out and explained him the situation. So kudos to our staff once again. But let's be a little more careful on the next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, during my agenda review, I did bring this item up and had a long discussion with staff on this. I guess I also was concerned about the additional 180,000 plus that were, even though we do have a contingency built up. My question is, what do we have, what are the protocols that we have in place from our city side to verify that this work and this contingency, this unexpected work is actually legitimate? And I know that we have that, correct?
Yes, they provide original.
What's the process?
Usually, let's say you have the approved drawings. They go and when they start to dig in, you have, let's say, the drawings, you have the pipe next to the soil area. Because in the middle you have gravity, you have water main, any conflicts. So they design there. But what happens is, as Dania Beach, as any other utility, when you request the existing drawing from different existing utility back from the 80s, 60s, 70s, there is no record. They just basically know there is a line there, but where, they don't know. So those are the unknown conditions that apply during the design phase, that it basically is a potential risk that is we are going to be facing during the constructions. And that's the reality. You start to dig in and you have a surprise. You have a water main that does not belong to the city, but it wasn't captured during design because we don't have the records, because it was built back in the X year. So the process is basically they stop the work, they go with the engineering record, they provide a request for information, request what is going to be the city position to stop the work, relocate or upset the line. They put a number on it and we agree if we move forward or not.
But we verify that the work has to be
everything.
done.
Everything.
Okay.
There is no
And
change
do
order
we
that is not
have
verified.
Do we have a process in place where we verify that that work is going to cost that amount of money and it's a legitimate price or a
Usually are
competitive
more or less
price?
the same prices that is in the bid contract, but at that stage is basically they can have some markup that is out of control of the city.
Okay.
But usually it's time material. They provide the receipt for the material per se, so we have the record of the material cost. Labor is basically the labor that has been paid, and maybe some overhead for those prices.
Okay. Well, I know that my discussions with the city staff during my agenda review was that we do push back very hard back on these, on Rickman and whoever, to lower the price that originally was asked on this change order. So it's not like we're just saying, okay, no problem, we'll pay it. We do push back on them and we do get them to either reduce it or in some cases, they're not even, we don't pay for it.
Yes, I could,
Hold
I could
on,
add, I
let's,
could
let's,
add to
let's
that.
do one at a time.
I could add
Okay.
to this.
City
I could answer
manager,
this-
city
your
attorney,
question.
and we want to wrap this up.
Because I also want to add some other, so the public is aware of what the city does.
Yeah.
The city has a construction engineer inspector that's on site with the construction crew. That inspector represents the city's interest. We've hired this person. That inspector ensures that what's in the design, it's being implemented. What do I mean by that? The size of pipe. If we have a 6-inch, 8-inch pipe, they can't put a 2, 3, 4-inch pipe. Our construction and engineering inspector reports to us. They confirm everything that's being done, it's being done according to the design. When there is a variation or an unforeseen incident, that construction engineering inspector has to inspect it and then reports back to our team. Not Rickman, not a subcontractor, our own inspector. They discuss it, and if it's valid, Rickman or the Rickman will bring back their projected costs. Those expenditures will be reviewed by our engineers and will be reviewed by our city attorney's office that will say, okay, this is valid, or no, this is not valid because the contract states, and that's when the debate and the back and forth will commence.
Right.
So nothing is being done in the field that is, they're putting the wool over our eyes. We don't know what's going on. We do know what's going on. And again, during construction, when there's no design, there's no as-built, because these pipes, this was done in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, things will be there that were not planned for.
Right, and this is exactly what I wanted to hear, Manager, and I wanted the public to hear that, because this is what we talked about in our agenda review. So that's exactly the process, and I just want to make sure everybody understands. We just don't say yes to $180,000 without really being in the trenches and determining that it is something that we need to do. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, City Manager. Thank you, Oscar. Because I'm really glad, City Manager, that you highlighted the city inspector's role throughout this construction. It's very important for the public to hear and have on record. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we finish approving the consent agenda with item 8.4.
8.4, I have a motion to approve 8.4 by the Vice Mayor. Do I have a second? Commissioner Ramon?
Yes.
Got us. Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. All right. Item 8.4 passes unanimously. And we will move on to item 9, which is our bids and requests for proposals. There are none. Item 10, quasi-judicial and public hearing items. There are none. And item 11, first reading ordinances, there are none. So we will move on to item 12.1, second reading ordinances. Eve, if you would please read item 12.1.
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance of the City Commission amending Chapter 28 of the Land Development Code, Part 1, Use Regulations, Article 110, Use Regulations for Commercial and Mixed-Use Districts, to allow for the addition of a use category for outdoor storage, sales, service, and washing of new and used recreational vehicles and sales of recreational vehicles, parts, and accessories, amending Section 11020, List of permitted special exception and prohibited uses, to add outdoor storage, sales, service, washing of new and used recreational vehicles, and sales of recreational vehicles, parts, and accessories, amending Section 110-300, Conditions of Use for outdoor storage of fully assembled passenger vehicles, boats, and trailers, and recreational vehicles in the Marine Zoning District. To remove the recreational vehicles, adding Section 110-305, Condition for Use of Outdoor Storage, Sales, Service, and Washing of New and Used Recreational Vehicles and Sales of Recreational Vehicle Parts and Accessories in the District. To provide for certain conditions for use, codification, conflicts, and effective date. This is a community development item.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners.
Good evening.
This item was heard by you guys last meeting, and I'm ready if you would like to hear the presentation again.
Anybody need to hear the presentation again? All right, we're ready to make a motion. Oh, sorry, this is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against? Mr. Kirschgraber, please come up. State your name for the record.
Robert Kurtzgraber, Dania Beach, Florida. I've been involved with many different things over my years in life, and I certainly enjoyed RVing and trailer and pretty much had everything that from a tent to a motorhome. Okay, I've done it all. Lived in New York, drove down here, did the Florida thing for many, many years, and decided to live in Dania Beach. One of my concerns, as I mentioned before, was with the drainage of wastewater, but tonight I'm going to bring up a separate concern because being an RVer, things break down and it is a service center, okay? I'd like to know, are we allowing transient lodging there or not? That is something that hasn't been discussed.
We can have somebody follow up with you.
Well, I think
But
until
we're not
that,
going to have the conversation now, but
my time, please.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's your time.
I would like to reclaim my time. So what I'm saying is, before we get to a final vote on this, we need to identify whether or not this is going to be used for transient lodging. I do understand because, like I said, I've been an RV owner. I've had motorhomes, campers, this, that, the other thing. And if this is the only Airstream dealer, okay, in this area, that means when people break down, guess what, folks? They're going to stay there. They're going to be living in that motorhome. They're going to be living in that camper. They're not going to a hotel. I've lived this life. I know what happens. And until we identify whether or not we're going to allow that type of overnight lodging at this facility, I respectfully request that this be tabled until that answer is questioned. And with that, I yield my time.
Thank you, Mr. Kurtzgraber. Do I have someone else to speak? Please come on up and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Heidi Davis with the law firm of Gunster, 450 East Los Olas Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale. I represent Blue Compass, and Blue Compass is an RV dealer. They will not have anybody living there. They will not have anybody. There's only 2 service bays that they're proposing, and there's no room for anybody to live there. So no living. It's a dealership. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that comment. Do I have any other public comment that has not already been spoken on this item? All right, public comment is now closed. Vice Mayor?
Oh, I make a motion we pass. What item is it?
Item 12.1.
12.1.
Have a motion from Vice Mayor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Llewellyn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right, item 12.1 passes unanimously. Thank you, Commission. And we will move on to item 12.2. Eve, if you would please read item 12.2.
Mayor, this is on here because we did advertise, but we have the disclaimer on the top that this has already been at the last meeting, voted to be heard on the July 7th commission meeting. So there's no public hearing or anything on this. We just have the notice on there so everybody
knows that it's
not
been-
to come here and waste their time.
Okay, so we will have this vote, this discussion will be an agenda item on the July 7th
Correct.
agenda. Okay, perfect. All right, and then I do believe then we will move on to item 13.1. I believe that's our addendum item for a promotional video for the Nyberg Swanson House, sponsored by Commissioner Llewellyn. Commissioner Llewellyn?
Thank you, Mayor. So I had mentioned this at a previous meeting and got consensus that we should kind of move forward and see about this. I have spoken to the city manager, spoken with our marketing team as well, and what we're talking about doing is a video that basically is educational, promotional with regard to the Newburgh Swanson House, I apologize, and potentially other historic assets that we have. And from discussing it, we were talking about this being more of like an evergreen project so that it's something that will be there living beyond all of us being here. So to keep it more educational and promotional and not be any of us being involved in the video, just have our marketing team put it together. Perhaps work with the Historic Society or others, but to try to put something together that we could actually use to make this more of an economic engine for the city. Because this is something that's done in a lot of cities. I've seen Fort Lauderdale does it. Deerfield Beach, a number of other cities that have historic assets. And it's very helpful to bring people into the city, to bring attention to the millions of dollars that we put into this property. And it brings people in, and they get involved in the various societies, and they also spend money in the cities. So just wanted to see if that's something that everybody thinks is a good idea, and maybe we can start putting something together.
Question, if, or city manager or commissioner, has anybody spoken to the Historical Society, the president, about this promotional idea, since it's going to be educational? Has anybody spoken to anybody at the Nyberg Swanson House or Newberg Swanson House?
I have spoken to a few people, but it wasn't fully developed and we didn't have all the information at the time. But regardless of that, this is our property. It's our historic asset. The Historic Society resides there basically at our pleasure. So my point is to make sure that people know about the building itself and the work that's been put into it to help preserve the history and to generate more business for the city and bring people into the city. I think the Historic Society will benefit as well, but we can do this with or without their participation. I'd love to see them participate. I think it would be great, especially somebody like Kathy Kay, whose family has been here since the founding. But I don't know that it's something that we need their permission for, per se, since it's our building.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. I just think it should be a collaborative type of a thing, that if we're going to use our history, and they have a lot of different history, I would like to see this to be a collaboration between the Historical Society and the city. So, Commissioner Ryan?
Yeah, I think this is a great deal, great idea by Commissioner Llewellyn. And she brought up that we should do this to promote many historical places throughout the city. So maybe we could tie them all in and have like the Nyberg Swanson House as the main, center to shoot off from, right? But we definitely want to do this with the Historical Society.
Absolutely.
100%. And try and include everyone. I know that they did something with PBS. I was fortunate enough to be a part of, which is nice. So we're definitely getting that promotion out there. But yeah, this is definitely something I'm all for. But I guess if we want to make it like a series or whatnot, that's up to us, I guess, to decide as a commission. But just to start at Nyberg Swanson sounds good to me. Thank you.
All right. Well, I would agree with it as long as we're going to do it in collaboration with the Historical Society. So I'm fine with that. Everybody else? Anybody else have any comment on that? Commissioner Romali?
Yeah, quick comment. I think it's a great idea as well, and I'd love to have them be a part of it, but I think it should be our direction on how it should go. And then one other thing, I know when I spoke with them way back in the beginning, when they came to me about utilizing the house for the Historical Society, my big concern was the investment we made in that house and how often they would be there to actually greet people and push attendance, push the idea of making it a historical location where people will come visit. I'd love to hear them provide an update to this commission on how many people have actually entered the house, how many tours they've given, and how busy they are. Because I think that's important. We invested a lot of money in that house, and I'd love to see what it is that they're currently doing and what the city or what we can do to try to help them achieve goals to get people to actually visit the home and walk through it, to see the historical preservation that we did there.
I like that. Well, I think that we should have that conversation. I should have that presentation. I think all of this should be that we're not working in silos, have that conversation and not just have a city versus the Historical Society, but make sure that we're collaborating, that we're talking to them about what our plans are, that the president and the entire members are involved and that they understand how, and we can talk about how we can bring this best forward to so that everybody's on the same page and what the expectations are and what the product is. I think collaboration is the key here. Thank you. Commissioner Ramoli, do you have anything on this, Vice Mayor? All right, so do we have a motion, Commissioner Ryan?
Motion to approve. You want me to do a motion? Motion to approve?
Oh, I thought, yeah, maybe just a consensus to move forward? Okay, so I think we have consensus to move forward with the comments. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item 13. Are we done? Where are we? 14.1, that would be me, that would be no. And then that would be a commission comments, Commissioner Llewellyn.
Yes, thank you. So, very brief tonight. I mean, there have been a lot of things that have gone on over the last couple of weeks. I will say that the Mosaic workshop, working on the art project that's been done, I think most of us have been to this. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful project. I know they're going to be doing more, I think, at Gasper Arts. So for those who were not able to go to the workshops, if you can try to make it there, it's wonderful. And it's an opportunity to literally be a part of this city, because these little pieces, these little mosaics that we're all making are going to be on this fountain ultimately when it's done. And you don't have to be artistic. They have little things you can press into the clay, so you don't have to draw anything if you're not artistic like me. So I'm not artistic at all. But they are very They are. It's a really nice idea, and it's a really nice project. And I'm really glad that we decided to move forward with this. I think it's an awesome thing to do. Hope everybody had a nice Father's Day, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. Commissioner Ramoli.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I also I attended the first day, which was that Friday? It was a Friday, I think, Friday night? Thursday or Friday, whatever the first day was for the art piece. And it was very well attended, and it was a lot of fun. I think it's a great opportunity for residents to get involved in something in our city and to see their piece of art on our water fountain for who knows how long, and I think it was great. Also want to give a shout out to our Parks and Rec for blowing out the Juneteenth event. Great job. You always take our event so seriously, and you do such a great job, and I want to thank you very much for that. And it just continues to get better each and every year. So thanks again to Cassie and your team. And with that, happy 4th of July, everyone, and be safe out there. Thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you, Commissioner Ramoli. Commissioner Ryan.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm happy the manager brought up the youth lifeguard camp. My son and nephews and nieces and all their friends all attended, and man, they love it. It's great. It's very educational, and it makes the kids more responsible around the water, makes them strong swimmers, and like we're all very proud of our lifeguard camp. I know we are. And our regular summer camp too has been going phenomenal from what I've heard. Very proud of what's going on with our youth programs and our youth programming, and wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Make sure you're safe and enjoy the celebration of America's 250th anniversary.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. Vice Mayor.
Well, you probably don't want to hear me say the same thing, so I'm not going to. But I do want to say that that special lady in the audience, I do congratulate you on your promotion. It's long time. All I can do is I can remember you being here forever, even when I was born. Congratulations, Corinne.
Sometimes I can't with you, but I'm going to move on with that and try to be brief here. I did attend the mayor's breakfast at the Hard Rock, joined by mayors across Broward County from the Realtors Group. It's very insightful because we're all these municipalities, we're all dealing with property taxes, and we're all dealing with how we're each going to handle them. And so it was good to hear from the mayors from the cities, and that they're largely aligned with the impacts of the proposed constitutional amendment. So I really enjoyed getting to hear their perspectives on that. And the Broward League of Cities and Florida League of Cities are continuing to working towards a unified message on that. But I always think that whatever group can participate and provide further feedback and insight, it's a message worth listening to. So thank you to the Realtors for that. And thank you, Corinne, for joining me on that. And congratulations to you once again. It does make a difference when staff is there to support. And I was able to give her a shout out there for 25 years of service. So thank you so much for what you do, and thank you for supporting that effort. I also attended I was a panelist for that, and I was also a panelist for the Invest Greater Fort Lauderdale Leadership Summit. This was attended by the Department of Transportation, the MPO. We had a lot of different speakers there talking about everything from infrastructure, mobility, the future of transportation, public and private partnerships, and future growth. And I'm now going to give us another shout out to our Deputy City Manager who was there with me for that. A lot of great power players in the house for that, and we were able to contribute to that conversation on a larger level. So thank you for Deputy City Manager Narena for accompanying me to that one as well. And our city manager, along with our Deputy City Manager, we prepared very well for the Broward County Commission meeting, and that was, we had to prepare quick, but there was a lot of last minute going back and forth, and so I really appreciate your team effort. It did work out in our favor. We had Bob Swindell from the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance on our team, but I do think that we came with a clear message. We all offered our pieces that kind of put it all together, and we are looking for that corporation to come in and be able to contribute to our tax base and not take away from it. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your support, and your presence in those meetings really means a lot to me. And I did have fun. With the Mosaic, me and Miss Alice sat together. She's almost 100 years old. So for me to be able to create something new with one of my favorite ladies on earth, it's very, very special. So thank you. And last but not least, Juneteenth did not disappoint. I was very, very proud of our Parks and Recreation team. Brought in Nikki Floyd, who sang, the National Negro Anthem, was just absolutely beautiful. A lot of people hire different groups from all over, and they spend a lot of different kinds of money. But I was so excited to learn that Miss T, one of our own staff members, trains this dance group, and they have all different ages. And these were our kids, our community, the local kids, and they did a phenomenal, phenomenal job. If you were there, you saw that. We had a panel discussion. It was educational. So I am just so proud that we are able to bring education. This was our first time doing it inside, and so I know that whenever we do something, we always try to take it to the next level, but I'm so proud that we are able to celebrate our culture and have such great participation. All the bleachers were filled to capacity. It was such great energy, such positive energy, so I want to thank all of our team for bringing that professionalism and that positivity to our community. And with that, I want to say happy 4th of July. Happy 250 America, and let's get some fireworks and have a great holiday. Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.